Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I'm the Gamer's Digester and I have a topic today that I think will interest quite a few of you guys if you have just purchased an ROG Ally. So I was going to be making a video on kind of a starter pack, maybe a beginner's guide on just stuff that you're going to want to have for this device. Of course, you're going to want your portable battery, stuff like that, just to help keep the that low battery at bay. Carrying cases and whatnot, but the biggest thing that I was looking forward to was cases. Now, if you're like me and you've been looking online for cases, checking Reddit, checking everywhere, just to see if anyone's been able to find anything, there's nothing. There is literally nothing. I don't mean carrying cases. I mean protective cases. Stuff that we have that I've shown previously in my other videos, stuff like what I have on my Steam Deck right now, what I have on my OLED Switch. There is nothing. Now, there are a couple things that we can look at from that, because on day one, there were things for other devices. The one thing that I can think of is maybe the manufacturers did not get their hands on preview units. I don't know how that could have happened or why that would have happened. It only would have taken to give them a few preview units for them to kind of get the specs of, to start making cases. And I mean like big names like D-Brand or JSOC stuff, so that they could at least get a couple options out to us. But there is nothing. Now, before I go deeper into that, all of you guys who have ordered screen protectors, if you check the reviews, they're almost all of them are too small. They only fit the actual screen, not the bezel out there. And that's because whoever was making these didn't have their hands on a preview unit, or just had some laying around from a Nintendo Switch or something and thought, oh, we'll just make a quick buck here and label it that. But I'm serious. There is really nothing out here to keep these safe. And that's a big deal for me. I always have my devices cased up. So not having something day one is really scary. I want to start bringing this with me places like to work, to wherever. But as we speak, I don't think that will be something that I can do. I didn't order a case from Best Buy, a carrying case. I thought I would just order a protective case and then kind of just be a little more careful with it, but at least have the case on, because I'm really not walking that far with it. But there is nothing. And the screen protector is a big deal too. This screen is glued onto the inside. If you've watched teardown videos, there is no easy way to gain access to the screen. Almost everything else is replaceable fairly easily. The screen is one of the only things that we can't actually change yet at the moment. There's no iFixit repair kits. So if anything goes wrong, it's either warranty or you're done. So I'm not trying to scare anybody with this, but it is scary. Like, this is a really expensive investment just to kind of have throwing around. I know that the people with the preview units, it may not have seemed like a big deal to them. Nobody mentioned that. Guys, the first thing I get when you're in like a Verizon store, what is the one other thing that they for sure have in that store? Cases. You're spending $1,000 upwards on a phone. You're not even going to want to leave the store without a case. Yet we have to be expected to go. Okay, I'll get into it now. It might be months. It seriously might be months before we start getting cases. If they didn't get specs or preview models out to these manufacturers, they do not have the specs to make things that fit, which is why you're seeing screen protectors that don't work, that don't fit. So they have to now make 3D models, now get everything ready, start testing those products, because they can't just, oh, well, it's this long, this wide, let's just make it and send it out. They have to drop test these things. If you're getting something from an actual decent manufacturer, or a decent brand, I should say, that's actually going to give you a good product, they have to do testing on these things. And if they didn't have their hands on preview units, that's not going to happen for a while. These things take time. It can't happen overnight. So I'm not entirely sure what this is going to look like for us, you guys. I don't know if we'll have to go months with keeping this thing in bubble wrap. I don't know. I'm not that careful of a person. I try as hard as I can with these devices by always having them have stuff on them. I've yet to drop anything. The only time that I've ever dropped a handheld was the original Switch, and the one time I dropped it, it broke. And since then, I've always had a case on my handhelds. I just can't. I can't take that risk. These cost way too much money. Something like a PC, I'm not carrying around with me, yet we still have a case on it. We don't want it exposed to the elements. Why are we having these exposed? These are going places with us. These will be exposed to rain, wherever, if you're walking to and from work. I just think it's a big oversight from Asus not to give manufacturers preview models. If that isn't the case, if there's something else, I would have assumed that at least one manufacturer would have gotten their hands on something and had a case out for us. Yet there's nothing? Not a single, not even a cheapo gummy case on Amazon. Nothing. Like, guys, the only cases that are going to be out there are stuff people are 3D printing in their basement. Like, that's the only thing I can think of for the time being. I know this might sound like nitpicking or rambling, but now I actually have something real here. This isn't just all hypothetical. I have it in my hands and I want to play this everywhere. I'm loving how it feels. It's super lightweight, but probably fragile. And I just am a little upset right now that I've been checking almost every day. This isn't just I'm checking now. A lot of people like to think that I'm not doing my due diligence and looking around. Here, I'll say this. If you find a case, link it in the comments. Leave a link to it on Amazon, to whatever. If it is a legit protective case, not a carrying case, because we've already got those. If it is a legit case and a legit screen protector, leave that in the comments. My screen protector gets here in 15 to 20 days. I have no idea why that shipping is going to be so long, but who knows? It could be totally false too. No one's gotten their hands on it yet, so there's no reviews. It looked legit, so I picked it up for around $10. I'll be letting you guys know if it was a scam or not. But as we speak, the only things that are official are the carrying case on Best Buy. That's it. And for this device to be gaining, what I'm looking at this from is this device has been blowing up. As far as views, the internet, everyone talking about it, it is everywhere on my feed. This is not some tiny little back alley device being made. This is a AAA product here. I would honestly consider this like a console, if you will. You can argue me that in the comments, but this is a really high quality device and we don't have anything to protect it. I'm almost tempted to just leave this at home and take my Steam Deck to work for the time being, because I know that if anything happens to that, I have a case on that and I've got a screen protector. So you may think I'm making a bigger deal out of this than I am, which to an extent you have absolutely every right to, but if you own an Ally, you are probably feeling the same way I am. You may just not realize it yet until after you watch this video. A lot of people are just happy to have their devices. I know I was. I just put it in the car and was like, well, am I just going to set this on the seat? And I don't want it to slide around. So I just put it right back in the box that I got it with. And then it got me thinking, well, now what? Am I just going to have to put it in the box everywhere I go? There's no stand. The only stand is this piece of paper, which I'm not taking anywhere with me. Am I going to stuff it in my pocket? There's just no good options right now. There really isn't. As soon as there starts to be options, I will upload anything I find. So if there is something that you guys leave in the comments today that is valid, I will probably purchase that, and I will be one of the first people to show you guys a review on it. I need to get something on this. Even if it's some $5 gummy case made for a kid, like anything will do at this point. And we're only a day or two into the release. I think that this is justified. But call me a baby in the comments, say whatever you want. I think that this is justified. To leave this on a good note, I really have not been able to get into much with this quite yet. I just got home. Now I've got some good internet connection. I've been downloading Modern Warfare. I'm not the biggest fan of Call of Duty. I just really want to see how this runs. And playing on the Steam Deck for so long, not having anti-cheat, it's really tempting, you guys. I have been wanting to play a nice multiplayer first-person shooter for a minute, but I have not been able to. One thing I've noticed, on the camera, everything looks blue. Do you see how this all looks blue here and gray? It's really just like a nice flat gray. So the camera is not picking up the correct colors at all on this. This is very correctly colored, and on screen it's not. It is extremely blue. So I don't know if I noticed that in reviews or not, but I'm just giving you guys a heads up. If you don't already have one of these, the colors look fantastic on screen. I have no idea why it's looking like this. This looks super blue on my screen. Like you can barely tell that's purple and that's purple and that's white. You can barely even tell. Everything just blends and looks blue. I'll have to look into that. But I am going to be removing every tiny little thing that does not need to be here. I'm just getting rid of it. I do not need Microsoft Edge. There are so many things that this device probably came preloaded with that I'm just going to axe. I might make a list of everything I get rid of so I can give that to you guys. But as for the time being, one thing at a time, I just want to play a game. With that, I leave you guys to enjoy your allies. Be careful until we can actually get something to keep these things safe. But have fun. Enjoy these. It has been a minute. And hey, check that out. Modern Warfare is done. I'm going to go check this out. But I thank every single one of you guys for watching. You have a good rest of your day and game on.